So when I wanted to leave Africa, instead of me waiting for a company to move me from Nigeria
To
to anywhere, I could control that. It may cost me a lot of money, cost me a lot of stuff, but I could control that.
wow.
So people needs to understand is that for me, at the beginning of your career, you should be looking for work-life balance.
Yeah.
At the beginning of your career, your beginning of your career is for you to absorb a lot, like
Yeah.
absorb a lot. You need to, it's just like your 20s. You need to test a lot of things in your 20s.
Hmm. Honestly, it has always blown my mind that a very high percentage of you who listen to the show haven't yet subscribed. So could I just ask you for a favor before we start? If you like the show and you like what we do at Tech Journey with DeDataDude and you want to support us, the free and simple way to do that is by hitting the subscribe button. My commitment to you is that if you do that, I will do everything in my power along with my team to make sure that this show gets better every single week. We will listen to your feedback and find a guest you want me to speak to and continue to do what we do. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tech Journey with the Data Dude, where we share authentic stories and actionable strategies from tech professionals across the world who have navigated their own unique path to success. I am your host, the Data Dude, and please join me in welcoming David Abu to the show. David, it's an honor to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. I'm happy to be here.
And thank you for joining us today and being willing to share your journey with the world. So, you moved from being a brand strategist in Nigeria to becoming the youngest MVP for a data platform in Africa and now a senior product marketing manager at Microsoft. There are a lot of strategies to be uncovered from your unique journey and your background in sociology and anthropology and being a brand strategy is quite different from technical career. How have any of these perspectives, influenced your approach to tech?
Okay, so thank you for inviting me in. One of the things that happened is that right from time when I finished school, the university, I read social and anthropology, but I we grew up in a system whereby it's mostly the course that we read. Most of the time, we really don't use the course that we read.
Hmm, hmm.
So in that system, I can just kind of ask myself that if I'll be studying sociology and anthropology, will I really, really want to work as a sociologist? Or are
Hmm.
there opportunities for somebody who uses my course or for somebody who studied my course? I won't say there are no opportunities, but for a system like Nigeria, you can't really say that there is that much opportunities. So when I finished school, um, I actually did a job even before the brand strategist because I did a sales rep
Wow.
a a for a for a real estate company. So they do the real estate and investment. So sell properties and do investment. So that was there, but it was kind of like a 4 or 5 month journey, and that was like May 2017 to November 2017. So something like a short stuff, but it wasn't really something that I would say I worked, but it was something that I just did just because then I haven't gotten any roles then. Then I moved into brand. In brand, majorly I focused majorly on online reputation management.
Okay.
So that was the major thing I was doing. Working with clients, different clients, doing that. But also is that I was able to learn a lot, and that was where I started using even majorly Microsoft Excel.
Hmm.
Um, and when I wanted to, it got to a point when I wanted to say, okay, you know what type of career I wanted to do. One of the things was that a, I was just looking for a career path that was number driven or data
Hmm.
driven. I
Okay.
wouldn't even know it was number or data driven then. Mine was that I love Excel. I wanted to learn Excel. What I think people that uses Excel. So I think I saw a tweet one time from the wife of the boss that I worked with after
Okay.
being a brand strategist. That was the wife of David Brown. That was Niger Flying Doctor. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember her name. I've forgotten it right now. Niger Flying Doctor is on Twitter. She's on Twitter. She's one of the most popular people on Twitter that I respect. She she posted about her husband, which is David Brown. As at that time, I was like, this somebody that I worked World Bank and also love Excel. I was like, oh, okay, good.
Hmm.
So and I saw that he has a company and stuff like that. And I reached out to the company and I was like, oh, I wanted to learn Excel. And they were like, oh, you want to learn Excel? Paid over 200 or something thousand. I was like, what?
Wow.
To learn Excel? And I was like, no, I don't have that money. So as at that time, it was Coursera that was that was popular then, Coursera and
Yeah.
EDX. So I learned Excel from there, learned analytics from there, and I started thinking of Power BI. So I was already trying to learn Power BI as of 2018. And what happened was that I needed to leave that company and um, and move on with my life. Um, what happened was that in November, I was like, okay, you know what? I need to leave. Then I left.
Hmm.
In December, I remembered I was trying to volunteer for a stuff like that. And I think I did some programs, and there was a woman then that I always look up to, Dupe Akeosun. She's a
Okay.
very popular HR professional. While she was in Nigeria, then she moved to the UK. Um, then there was some conversations that happened. I really don't want to go into details. Then she sent me like 25,000
Okay.
naira, and I took. Then I remember that it was Christmas, so I took like 19,000. It was Christmas, but after Christmas, I took like 19,000. That was like January 2nd to Ikeja to pay for a Python class because I wanted
Wow.
to learn Python. So I was all about the numbers then. Numbers. I wanted to learn numbers. So, and I know that for me, I would just want to learn numbers. Then, but for now, an opportunity came from a WhatsApp group to join a bank on a contract staff for HR.
Hmm.
But the prerequisite was that you need to know Excel. So I've learned Excel. So
Before, yeah.
before that, so I went there. I did an interview against like other people that I still got
Yeah.
the role.
Wow.
But I resumed the Monday, and there was a time there was a time that within that period I applied for a role even in the same January to learn bootcamp from David Brown's company. So David Brown's
Okay.
company opened up an opportunity for people to learn,
To learn.
and
Okay.
the benefit of them learning is that the best two people get retained as staff.
Wow.
So on the Monday that I resumed the bank, why the bank is not in my LinkedIn profile is that
Yeah.
I just worked there for like 6 weeks. Yeah, worked there for like 6 weeks. So it's a popular bank. So I did the HR, like, okay, I landed in the company, which is the bank. I got an email from D Brown Consulting to say, "Oh, you know what? You need to come for the bootcamp." The bootcamp was 4 days. Was it four
Hmm.
days? Yeah, it was 4 days. So it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think so. Yes, I think so. I think so. So um, on Tuesday, I told my manager, I said, "See, that is my bank manager now. Like, I can't come tomorrow. That I have to go and learn Excel stuff and stuff." Then he approved that I should go. So I'll resume the next Monday. So I'll
Yeah.
come back, resume next Monday. I said, "Okay, that's fine." Then I went there. Because for me, I knew that the banking wasn't going to be it was going to be a very long game in the sense that it was a contract role. So I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
from the beginning that if it's contract, then there is no hope here.
Hmm.
So how much
Hmm.
was my salary then? I think it was like 65,000.
Hmm.
So I knew there was no hope. So even from the first day I resumed, I remember asking the person that is my manager or the person that I report to, that
Yeah.
how do I become a full-time staff within a year? And he was like, "Oh, that you're very young." And truthfully, I was 25. And in the banking that time at 25, you're young as at
Hmm.
that time. So you were like, "Oh, I'm very young. I shouldn't worry about that. That before 27, within 2 years, I'll become a full time and I'll enjoy myself." And I was like, I want to wait for 2 years. But at that time, I was like, well, let's just see how it goes. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But I knew that if I see another role that is full time,
You would grab it.
definitely not going to
Yeah,
stay
going
for
for it.
a single man.
Wow.
And it's not
Wow.
even like now that information are vast, like people can type anything online, can
Yeah.
ask anything online. And it was before COVID, so things are still in silos. Information are
Yeah.
just is not abound this way. And but for me, I read a lot, so I know that contract it won't work for me because already I know that most of the people in the bank who stays in front of the counter, most of them are contract staff, and you see them stay at the bank for 5 years, 7 years. They're not leaving that position, and I knew that. So I knew what I wanted, but I was like, okay, that's fine,
Wow. Wow.
and that was
Wow.
how I went for the boot camp. Did well at the boot camp. I was like, 25 good people were at the boot camp. People became my friends till now. And they were like, "Oh, that if I was like, okay, if I don't get the best two, at least I can go back to you to the bank
Yeah, we
and
can continue your
continue
work.
working."
Yeah.
But I did well at the
Bootcamp.
start. We did interview sessions. Everybody was doing interviews. So as you're learning, you do the interview session. Sure, I did a lot of good stuff.
Hmm.
Then to convince them that I was a good candidate.
Wow.
Then when we came when it was, I think it was February. Yeah. I can remember, I think it was the week of Valentine, that February 14, February 15 week. Then I was heading home. Then I got an email that says that I entered as a full time staff.
Wow. 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 That was an inspiring journey. And you know what you always want and you always go for it based on the story that you shared for the banking. You didn't wait for the 2 years before you become full time staff, and that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I remember you mentioned staring at laptops both day and night in your early tech journey, even sleeping in the office like for several weeks. Can you take us through that period? What was driving you during those times?
You've done a lot of research about me. That's good. I like that. So the question again was what?
You mentioned staring at laptops both, day and night, in your early tech journey, even sleeping in the office for several weeks. So please take us through that moment. What was driving you during those times?
Poverty was driving me.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So I'm the firstborn, like first generational graduate of my
Wow.
family.
Wow.
So it, one of the things people needs to understand is that for me, at the beginning of your career, you shouldn't be looking for work-life balance.
Yeah.
At the beginning of your career, your beginning of your career is for you to absorb a lot, like
Yeah.
absorb a lot. You need to, it's just like your 20s. You need to test a lot of things in your 20s.
Hmm.
The 20s is not for calculating risk. Your 20s is for entering the risk.
Hmm.
You're not assessing risk. Your 20s is just the same way because you need to test a lot of things. You need to be able to test a lot of things. Will it work? Will it not work? Will it work? Will it not work? It gives you opportunity to be able to have a lot of experience before you now start saying that, oh, okay, I want to settle in this direction. The human the human, we have a lot of brain power, we have a lot of talent to be able to say, make life finish university. I'm just going through one direction,
Hmm.
for life for the next 70 years. It won't work. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. We have to be in the position whereby we can leverage, and it's hard. It's not as simple as I'm saying it, but you need to be in the position whereby you can leverage a lot of things, a lot of opportunities, and see where it goes. You
Hmm.
can't say that, oh, I have to just do only one thing. No, it doesn't work that way. So for me, as at that time, what drove me more around was because I didn't have a lot. So it was what drove me as at that time because I knew I have to survive.
Yeah.
I lived in, I don't know, maybe Yanopaja. That was where I
Yeah.
grew up in.
Yeah.
So I grew
Lagos.
up there. So you can't grow up in that place and be comfortable,
Hmm.
except you want to do Yahoo to survive. Can grow up there and be comfortable. You have to give yourself a chance. You have to give yourself a fighting chance. So for me, when I was a brand strategist on the island, there was no
Yeah.
data. There was no way that you see the way we have data at home now.
Yeah.
We didn't do that then in 2018.
Yeah.
There was with what is data in the house. It's not possible. Everybody goes to the office. The whole world was different from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
COVID gave everybody a
Change
reset,
everything.
but
Yeah.
before then, everybody goes to work.
Office.
It's
Yeah.
like everybody goes to work. I was seeing a TikTok that somebody was talking about. There was a whole divide of the experiences between the American before COVID and the American after
For
COVID.
COVID.
That before COVID, it was street. Life was street. Life was go to work, come back, go to work, come back. By
Come back.
7 a.m. you are working, having meetings upon meetings, stuff like that. The world was not the same. But now the world has changed. Like you can't send me a meeting link by 9 a.m. It's not possible because the world has changed. So for us then too, the world then was you have to go to the office to see the internet.
Yeah.
And when you finish working, for me, should I go back home? I know I can't go back home because I need the internet. I need the internet to work.
You need resources.
I
Hmm.
need resources. So, and I have a laptop then. So I was like, you know what? Let me just use the internet in the office to learn Excel, to learn all those things that I want to learn. I even remember going to Ajah then. There was a free Python class. I don't know, Python has been running away from me for a long time. But every time I want to learn Python, something is something either something good is happening or something bad is
Upon.
happening. Python is just not it's just one tool that till today I've not learned
Wow.
class in Python. Yes, till
Wow.
today I've not finished learning the Python.
Since
Like
like
every
since
every
2018
since
that you tried.
yeah since 2018, yes, like till
Wow.
then, and that was like now 7 to 8 years ago. I have still not learned that Python. Like for every
Wow.
time I want to learn it, did I get a
Uh,
new job or something stopped working or something? I don't know what is wrong with that
on,
Python.
on your behalf, I will apologize to Python because Python is my friend. I've always, been. I started learning like into data with Python. Even the first boot camp that I attended, it was 50,000 naira. But based on, it's similar to your story that someone gave you money. So someone gave me 25,000 naira. So I know that I want to learn this thing. Like I really want to learn this thing. I just approached them. I don't have money. You guys should help my life. Poverty was fighting me. Like, I'm like, okay, don't worry. They will give you 50% discount or scholarship. Everything changed. I mean, everything changed for me in my tech career. Sorry, just continue
Yeah,
your
that's
story.
good. That's good. So for me, it was what drove me then was just knowing that I don't have anything and I need skills. I think for me, it has always been skill sets. I
Yeah,
know that I need skill sets. I always tell people to learn a skill set. Learn a skill, learn a skill. For me, even I remember in 2018, was it 20, or 2017? I can't remember. I did even a career session at my church where I invited speakers from outside, but we used the
yeah.
church auditorium,
Church auditorium. Okay.
and it was all around skills. So I knew that I needed to learn a skill. So Excel, Power BI, Python that I did not learn, but I knew I needed to learn a skill. So what drove me around that period was learning. It was learning, and the fear of just not being a nobody at the end of the day.
Hmm.
That was what drove me. It was
Hmm.
so important for me to become a somebody. Like
Hmm.
it was
Hmm.
so important for me to become a somebody. It was so
Wow.
important for me to become a direction for people.
Yeah.
It's not because that I want the applause of people. Nah, far from that. It was just because that in the whole world of where information is now abound, nobody knows who to ask questions from.
Hmm.
And the best set of people you want to ask questions from are the people who you see thriving, or the
Yeah.
people who you see that are making waves, or the people who you see the things that they can buy with money. And
Yeah.
that is why
Yeah.
you see that people will prefer to learn how to scam people than a tech skill set or another skill set. Now, I'm not comparing tech and scamming, but I'm just saying that people would prefer to go another way from the normal logical way, because the people in the other side of the spectrum are using the materialistic way
Hmm.
to make people come in.
Hmm.
So if you
Hmm.
don't see me drive a Lamborghini, or if you don't see me drive a very good car, or you don't see me come out with the very best of the best, then it's easier for you to look at that another person who have that same thing to say that this is the career path I want to go into,
Yes.
because that is the worldview that is happening right now.
Wow.
So for me as a 2017, 2018, when I was sleeping in the office trying to learn skill set because I don't have data at home and stuff like that. It was just majorly because I wanted a life that I can be proud of myself.
Wow.
Um, Life where people can be proud of. Life where people who come from my own side of life can pinpoint and say that
I
I
want
know
to
that
become
person.
like David. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. I know that
Yeah.
person. So
That's
it was for me. It was a good thing, but it was a strenuous thing. It was something that when you started having that type of understanding, you started doing things that is way bigger than you. You started doing risk that is way bigger than you, because you know that you're no more doing it for yourself alone. You're doing it for so many other people who needs to who needs to be proud of you. So many
hmm.
other people who needs to see you and say, see, I know where it started
Hmm.
from. Or see him,
Hmm.
see him.
Hmm.
Those are the set of
Hmm.
things, those are the set of people that I was making sure that when they see my story, when they hear, when they are able to say, oh, I know somebody called David Abu, they should be able to relate from the past and to the future. And
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
that was the driver
Wow.
at that time. Do I know
Wow.
if I'll be here by now? That is a lot of another uncertainty. I can't say yes, I can't
Hmm.
say no. But I
Hmm.
just knew
Hmm.
that I knew that I just wanted to be at the point in my life that I knew that I am fine. I know I'm okay,
Yeah.
and which is going to take a lot
Love.
from me. So
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Your story, I can relate to every bit of it because it's quite similar to mine. Yeah. Coming from your background, your family, you being the firstborn, I know that okay. At some point there'll be family pressure too that okay, you need to be a good mentor for people. And you being the first generation as a graduate and doing well, not only in Africa, across the world, it will require a lot of sacrifices. Nowadays, people are not ready to make the sacrifices. If not that you are sharing everything that you did, behind the scene that's not visible on social media, we have a lot of people that be like, okay, I want to be like David. David is doing this, David is doing this, David is working at this place. I want to be like him. But are they ready to make similar sacrifices that you have done, that you have made in your journey? Are they ready? Because some people don't really know what it takes to be you, except you
Mhm.
tell them, okay, this is what I did. Based on what you said, 20s is not a age range to be calculating the risk. It's age range to dive into every risk. It's better to fail earlier and at your 30 you already get it right than
Yeah.
to be trying to play safe at 20s and at 30, 40, you never even have a single and sure direction of your life.
Mhm.
Because that's what
I
I
agree.
do. I love to do everything that comes to my mind. The only thing I always fear of is the regret that okay, I wish I've tried this thing. I don't want to have that say that okay, I wish I've tried this thing. Let me just try everything. Let me know that, okay, at least I did it. I tried it, but maybe it didn't work or something. But at least
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn something from it, and that's my mindset. And similar to what um you have done and what you are doing. Then this brings me to your journey from Nigeria to Microsoft in the UK, in the US. You mentioned that you left Microsoft, then you joined Microsoft back. You left them in Nigeria, and you joined them back in the US. What strategy did you use that make yourself visible? To be a candidate that could leave a company and still join the company back, not in the same location, but outside the current country.
There was no strategy. Oh. There was no strategy. There was no strategy. Let me see how best I can explain it.
Okay.
So leaving Microsoft Nigeria was just because it wasn't because I left Microsoft Nigeria. It was more around I wanted to leave Africa as a
Okay.
whole. Yeah. So why is because I wanted to always be outside there in the global space, and the issues with visas and stuff like that,
Yeah.
traveling was a lot. It was like different world from Africa down to the south
Yeah.
to the Western world. So and it cost a lot. I remember that when I came to the UK in 2020, I think, yeah, 2023. Same thing. It cost a lot, and for me, it was my money that I used to come to the UK, so it cost a lot.
Wow.
I was like, nah. I was like, it's so expensive. I was like, okay, you know what? I need to. So the idea was around me and my best friend talking, and we're like, we need to leave Africa, and
Hmm.
we just need to leave. Like, we're done.
Regardless, like you
Yeah,
guys are
everybody
done with
just
Nigeria.
needed to leave. So I have always wanted to leave Africa, but it was since 2017 or 2015. I've always wanted, like, oh, maybe I'll do masters. At the point in time, I said maybe I should do PR for
Hmm.
Canada PR and stuff. But I
Yeah.
wasn't serious because for every time I want to do that, maybe I got a job, so many things change it, and I was like, you know what? Let me just now I when me and my best friend talked and we're like, okay, you know what, let's sleep.
Hmm.
And we started doing it. Within the first, we made a decision in April. By August, my best friend has left to the US.
Wow.
The guy has left, he packed his family, Boom,
Wow.
US. So so I knew that okay. I was like, but well, we strategize. I was like, okay, there are some things that's happening. Like I'm the co-founder of Data First Africa, and
Yeah.
that event is so important to me. Like the organization is so important to me. I was like, you know what? Let me go to let me do the event first because it happens every October. Let me do the event first, then move. So I knew that for every plans I'm making, it will be for January of the next year.
Yeah. Hmm.
So and that was how I left. So it wasn't as if that I wanted to leave Microsoft Nigeria, but it was just because I
You want
left to
to.
Canada, and that was why is a different pay, different HR policies,
Yeah.
different international
Yeah.
rule policies. So everything are different. So people will always ask, but David, why didn't they move your road? It's not as simple as that. It's just not as simple as switching off, switch on. Like you switch on Canada, like switch off Canada, switch on. I mean, switch off Nigeria, then switch on Canada. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
nuances that happened, and
Yeah.
again, is a job. So when you leave here, the question is that do they need you in the other
Over
space?
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it a
Hmm.
business critical? So it wasn't a business critical. It was my own personal critical. So it wasn't Microsoft critical. So I knew that I had to leave. It comes down to me leaving. So I like, you know what? I just have to leave. So, but it was a risky game. But
Hmm.
I left.
Ticket. Yeah. Yeah.
But leaving. So people now ask that, okay, how were you able to now come back? And this is it. So I needed to first explain to you that it wasn't that there was a strategy. That was the first I wanted to explain. That it wasn't as if there was a strategy of me moving from Microsoft Nigeria to Microsoft US. No, it wasn't. It was that it was my strategy to leave.
Hmm.
So it was my own strategy to
To
leave
leave Africa.
the
Okay.
country, but it comes at the cost of leaving Microsoft.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
So,
Hmm.
so that is something I wanted to explain. So it called that it comes with a cost, and that cost was either a known or unknown thing. But I knew that there is a chance that I would leave Microsoft because of that decision. So I've answered that one. So to the second one, that was a strategy. It wasn't because of strategy; it was just luck.
Hmm.
Yeah, me getting my next role was luck. It wasn't strategy. What do I mean? It was just like I just announced that I'm leaving, and somebody reached out to me and said, "Oh, David, there'll be a role coming in. Try and apply." And I tried and applied. I did the interview rounds, everything, and I got the job. So it wasn't as if I did, but maybe what I'll say is that I was in my role. I was one of the best
Hmm.
in my role. What I was doing in Africa, when you talk about advocacy. Then my role was cloud advocacy. My advocacy role in my Africa was huge because when there needs to be an event, I have the capacity to draw the numbers. You
Hmm.
just need to just
Hmm.
look at all my events that I have done so far. I draw the numbers close to 1,000 people anytime, any
Wow.
day. Like I build communities. It's one of my strongest quality as a professional.
Wow.
I build communities. So when I wanted to leave and I announced, I think that some people felt bad about it and
Yeah.
stuff. And you always feel bad about it, but sometimes if there's no way for you to help the person, there's no
Yeah.
way for you to help.
Nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do. So, but luck for me plays in the sense that somebody was looking for a perfect, someone was looking to employ somebody, and for me, I was a perfect candidate
For the role.
to the
Wow.
person, and I did the interview rounds. I did everything possible to make sure that I get the role. Like I did everything possible because immediately the person told me that, oh, there's this opportunity. Funny enough, it was the last week of me being at Microsoft. So the person told me on
Uh,
Tuesday, we need to have another meeting on Wednesday. On Tuesday, he told me on Wednesday I created a 65 slide page. Like you telling me that, oh, David, we want you to come and work as a data analyst for this person. I was like, okay. And the next day, me and you were having a meeting. then I'm showing you a 65 page what a 65 page strategy of the things I'm coming to do if you give me that job.
Wow, that's another strategy on its own for people looking for a job. Yes, imagine.
I created a 65 page here. Like I showed it, I used to show it. I have this picture. So I created a 65 page. Was it 65 or 25 or 65? I think it was 65. I think so. I just need to look for it and be sure. But I know there was a lot of numbers. What lot of numbers. And I did the slide. I showed him everything I would come. He was like, but I just told you like 24 hours ago. I said, Baba, you don't understand.
the ninja, the ninja hustling spirit. They like, no, no, no. This is an
Like,
opportunity. I
like,
need to get it.
I need to get this job, man. So,
Wow.
but everything came that it took a lot of process, but everything came down to luck, to God.
Hmm.
But also I did a lot. Like I have done a lot of stuff for the past 4 5 years
Yeah.
to get to that point. If you are thinking that it is that job that makes me favorite, then you're missing it. Actually,
No.
I have done a lot
A lot
to
of work.
get to that point. So you cannot battle somebody who has been grinding.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
outbeat somebody who already has done a lot to get to where he is. So there's some people
Yeah.
that their success is just beautiful that sometimes you
Un-
can't just beat them.
yeah. Undeniable.
It's just exactly, it's just undeniable. Like you can't beat it. So for there's some people like that. There are some people like that, that I see their stories. I say I like if I compete with
Hmm.
this person will beat me hands down. I don't need to disturb myself. I don't need to stress it. So there's some people like that. There are some beautiful people like that.
Do
Like
you
well,
ever think that people will be thinking, okay, maybe you had to apply for 30 plus job before you secure another?
many people did not know about it. Funny enough, I posted it on Twitter one time, and people were like, "Damn!" Like they did. You won't know. You won't know. We are the ones suffering it. I am the one suffering. Yeah. So you won't know. The only one that you need to know is that I got the offer. And I'm
That's your own part to know.
that is
But
the
the
your
behind
part.
the scene is
Behind the
crazy.
scene, I'm the one. I'm the
Wow.
one doing everything. So at the end of it all, it was more around getting making sure that um I was the best candidate.
They
Like I was the
cannot
best, like I was the
like
best candidate.
they won't even
So
have any option than to like
exactly, I was the
if you
best.
don't take this guy, it's their loss. Because that's what I always tell people. Forget about maybe because some people believe in racism or maybe black and white. Forget about it. Once you can build yourself to a level that you become an asset that even a any company cannot afford to lose you because they know that when they lose you, they lose millions of dollars. Then you know that okay, you're ready for this global market because here is very competitive. This
It's competitive.
job market here is different from the one in Nigeria. It's
Mhm.
very crazy. Yeah. A lot of people imagine a job was posted about 5 minutes ago and it already have like 300 applications. And most times there are a lot of people that have the skills and everything. But as a recruiter or as a hiring manager, you are not expecting me to read through a thousands of applications. I'm
Yeah,
not a robot. Is
yeah,
either I go through the one that people that were referred to me or maybe first 10, and this is where networking or building connection comes in. Work, let your work give you evidence. Let people see what you can do or what you have done. Based on what you said, the person that called you or told you about the job, if you haven't done anything tangible or there are no evidences of what you have done, like you haven't built your credibility, trust me, they may even be the hiring manager. They won't even call you because they'll be like, no, I can't get this kind of person into my team. It will destroy everything. People want to get someone that will add value to their team, not to cause problem to their team.
yeah.
And that, when you mention about luck, to me, luck is about, okay, you, your readiness meets opportunity.
Hmm.
Based on what you said, you have been working for like since 2017 and everything, summed together. people don't just attain victory just like that. There must be some, and you also mentioned that you have to make a cost of leaving Microsoft for you to even leave Africa. This brings me back to what I said. Okay, people are seeing you doing well, but can people actually do the things that you did, the sacrifices that you made? Can they do it? It's very, because if they don't know now, but I'm very sure that when people are listening to this, they will get more clarity, like for like a sample of what it takes to be David Abel, other than just social media David. Okay, David is this, but they will know the behind this. Okay, for this guy to be able to get this, that means I also need to put on work.
Yeah.
Even if I'm working, I need to learn, and I know that I don't have the resources, and I know that my company have everything that I need to learn. Let me also stay in the company for several nights. Let me also learn instead of give, because a lot of people are not giving excuses. Even if you imagine you're mentoring someone and he's telling you that okay, it's because he doesn't have data on his phone, he doesn't have access to internet, light. I mean, like, you are not serious. Because all these excuses are not genuine. If you are hungry for something, because I always know people are hungry for things. When I'm hungry for something, there's nothing I cannot do. I make sure I get the things done regardless of any circumstances around me. Because I know that okay, there are a lot of things as risk, and I need to get this, I need to learn. If I don't learn, there's something that if you don't do it, nobody will do it for you. So let me just do what I need to do and just get it done and move on to my next life. Because to me, life is a process. You gather from Premi 1 to Premi 2 to Premi 3. You can't expect someone that's, only did Premi 1 to get in university. It's not possible.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
don't need to jump class, just follow the process. For people listening, as you can see, David got to where he is right now. It's not just because he just moved from 2017 to 2025. Within that 2017 to 2025, a lot has happened.
Yeah.
And that lot that has happened require a lot of sweat, a lot of sleepless nights, and a lot of doubtful moment that be like, okay, which I will still get to that point. But thank you very much, thank you very much, and I'm very sure that people listening to this, we gain a lot of strategies, actionable strategies that they can apply, and people are getting their mindset shifted into the right one. Because if you have a wrong mindset about something, trust me, no matter what you do, you will get it wrong. First,
Yeah.
get it right in your mind, then get it right physically. So, for every success story, it includes a moment of doubt and everything. And I'm very sure, or don't let me say I'm very sure, there will be some moment that you doubted yourself or you question your path or ability. Like, okay, am I actually doing the right thing, or can I do this? How did you push through those times?
I think the every day there are always moments of doubt. Even currently, right now, I still have some moment of doubt about things. Life is funny in the
Yeah,
sense that it's not only in your job that you have doubts. You have doubts in your family,
yeah.
you have doubt about even the food to eat, you have doubt about the clothes to wear, you have doubt about so many, you have doubt about your future. We always have
Hmm.
doubts about it because we're
Yeah.
very young people. Funny how we are so young right now that the probability that we have more years to still stay than the one that we've stayed now is higher.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
I'm getting close to 32. So there's a possibility that if I stay to 40 to 70, they'll just say, okay, it's only 70 I stayed, and God calls me home. I have stayed more time on the
Yeah. Than
earth
what you have
than
used.
now.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
So so the whole point is that there will always be doubts because I still have close to like more than 50 years right now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
there will always be a lot of doubts. The only thing that has made all of us pull through is that for me, it has just always been following the process.
Okay.
Following the process. Like the rules doesn't change. It's just the time that that the blessings happens or the thing comes into
Hmm. Hmm.
fulfillment that changes. The one you always have doubts. Like when we go to Canada, I was looking for a job, applying. Apart from Microsoft, I applied for others, interviews, did do so many things. wasn't getting job. So it was difficult. But at the end of it all is that sometimes you're only like, but I'm good in Africa. Why can't I get a job here? But that is Africa. That's Nigeria. Now
Hmm.
you're here. You, it, maybe before COVID, it would have been way easy for you to get a job. But right now, the world is so open that it is more harder to get a job. Now
Yeah.
you're competing against everybody.
Yeah.
Before you might even when you get to Canada or US, you can just come outside like this, somebody will give you a job. But
Hmm.
it's not like that
Now.
anymore. It's not like that anymore. Now
Hmm.
you're competing against everybody. The
Yeah.
person in Nigeria wants to
It's
earn dollars.
applying.
The
Yeah.
person in UK wants to earn pounds. Everybody's competing with the
Hmm.
same job, the same thing. Sometimes now you even tell somebody that don't apply to the US, don't apply to UK. They'll tell you that no, it is that
I
one
must
born
say
for
that
that
I
you
want
should
to
apply.
apply for.
Now that one that you said I should not apply for
Is
is
that
the
one
same
that
one
I
that
want?
I want to apply. So I don't know it all. You always have that. You like always,
Hmm.
but I don't dwell on them. I
Hmm.
don't dwell on
Hmm.
them. It's not something
Hmm.
I dwell. It's not something I dwell on because for me, everybody always have a moment of weakness. It's just a normal
Yeah.
thing. Even Jesus did. Everybody has moments of weakness. Is that's why we have flesh. We have moments of weakness. The only thing there is just not dwell on them. Immediately start dwelling on
Yeah.
them, it turns into
Nice.
depression.
Yeah.
It turns
Yeah.
into overthinking. It turns into things that at the end of the day you spoil other things. So for me, it's just for you to just follow the process. So what is the process? It's as simple. What is something that you can control that another person cannot control?
Hmm.
The first thing that you can control is to apply for jobs. You can control that.
Yeah.
How the recruiter reply back is something that you don't have
Cannot
control.
control. Yeah.
So your control is that focus on what you can control. So when I wanted to leave Africa, instead of me waiting for a company to move me from Nigeria
To
to anywhere, I could control that. It may cost me a lot of money, cost me a lot of stuff, but I could control that. It cost me and my entire savings, funny how, my
hmm.
entire savings. But I said I could control that. Then I moved. Every other thing that happens from there, sincerely, sincerely. If they
Hmm.
said I'll be in the US, I'll say I'll be laughing.
Like I,
Like,
I would
why
that
didn't just Microsoft just bring me directly
just
from
bring me
Nigeria?
to
Why
the
do I have
US.
to go and suffer in Canada?
Hmm. Hmm.
Why do I have to go to Canada? So
Hmm.
why just move me from Nigeria to the US? Why have to go? But at the end of the day, it was just more around me having to understand some principles of life, which is I have to do what I can control. And that was what happened. I have
Hmm.
to control. What can I do to control? Well, what are the things I can control? So those are the things I did. Most of the time, we don't do things that we can even control because we are thinking that even though we have control over it, the things that we cannot control might have a negative effect, even though
Yeah.
we have control over some things. So, for example, you don't want to apply for a job because you feel like the recruiter will reject you. So you
Hmm.
are feeling like the unknown consequence or the unknown results, you're making the unknown results affect your own known process that you have to take. Like now, um, I'm going for a marathon after this meeting, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I know I won't win it. It's obvious because this is my own first marathon.
Wow.
So it's just like now saying that, oh, since I know I won't win it,
Don't
I don't
even
need to
go.
waste my time. So I don't need to go through the process because I now won't win it. I should just stay at home with my wife.
Hmm.
So that is the part many people are going through. They feel like the unknown results should affect my known process.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
The unknown results should affect my own known process. And that is what is affecting a lot of people.
Wow. Wow.
So when we have doubt, the first thing is that what is the known process that I can take? I can take A, B, C, D, E, F. Good. What happens from there, you don't know. But It means, but you taking those actions can help
Yeah.
accelerate the other things. And that's where a lot of people don't know. But those are the things I did when I have those set of issues. I just said, like, what can I do? There was a time that I needed to start playing football just to take my mind
Away
off the things
sometimes.
I'm do all the things
Hmm.
that was happening. I go play
Hmm.
football every Saturday, just to take my mind off it. Sometimes just like watching Netflix for me was okay.
Yeah.
Watching Netflix just so. Also, I tried to learn other stuff too. I did some other learning, SQL stuff like that. I was just reading and doing some other stuff. So my major one was around just follow your own process, being your own person. Then from there, whatever happens from there, it's
Yeah.
fine. But
Yeah.
at least control your narrative. That is what most of people don't know how to do. They could not control narrative. They feel another person should control their
So my
narrative.
narrative.
And for me, it won't work for that. For me,
Hmm.
is around me controlling my own results.
Narrative. Wow. Wow. That is amazing. Awesome. People listening, please do your part in everything that you want to achieve and be borderless and worryless about things that you cannot control. Just like you applying for jobs. Don't bother about, okay, will you get the job? Just keep applying till you get what you want. And no one is saying it's going to be easy or you may just apply for one job and you get it. No. But it's your own journey. What makes it unique is, the things that will happen to you, the things that you will do, and that's everything comes together to make your own story unique because no matter even identical twins don't have the same story. They don't have to go through the same process. Each person in this life will go through their own unique, paths for them to achieve whatever they want to achieve. And as I do say, success is predictable, likewise failure. If you
Yeah,
don't follow the process, you know what the high probability of what you will get, and if you follow the process, you know what you will get. No success is a mirage. It requires a lot of things, will be determined if you be successful, and they will consider a lot of things that you have done in the past, especially this word credibility. I always mention about it. Once people build credibility, tends to get things done globally because people here they tends to know, okay, who are you? Even if they want to get some senior roles, forget about
yeah,
the technical aspect. Technical aspect can only get you maybe the interview, maybe stage one. But after maybe round two, round three, that you're getting to meet the senior stakeholders, they want to, who are you? What do you? They don't care about maybe because they already know that okay, before you can even get to round two, they are satisfied with the technical aspect of what you want to do normally.
I agree.
But now how do you see people? How do you relate? What do you do outside work? They will check everything they can get online about you. That's why it's very good to know how to utilize the social media very well. For example, in my own role, the one that I got with JP Morgan, the final person that interviewed me that would determine if I would get the job or not. I didn't know that they have went to social media to make research about me, my content, YouTube and everything. And you know, on that present day of the interview, I was waiting for her. So as she joined the meeting, she just smiled and she said something that made me smile. She mentioned the data dude. I'm like, for real? She didn't mention my real name. She just mentioned my personal, brand name. I'm like, wow. Before you could come in, did that mean you have made some research about me?
Yeah,
Now, we are all women and we want to um you know join or meet people or bring people to the team that are doing things that are similar to what they are doing, or maybe they are also working towards what they believe in and everything, and it works. And it's not just in maybe one time, second time, or three times. It works, say like a several times. Not only for me, I've seen people that same principle works for them. As I just said, just to follow the process and we get it right. So I want to ask you this thing. Are you living your tech dream?
I don't have a dream when it
Okay.
comes to tech dream. I just have a life dream. I how I achieve. achieve it. Can be
Hmm.
through tech, can be through business, can be through anything. I don't have
Hmm.
anything called tech dream.
Tech dream. Okay.
I don't have. I just love Excel. Did I know Excel would make me become a data consultant? No. Did I know that Excel would be the one that will now make me enter into Microsoft? No. Do I know that if Excel will make me be able to have MVP? No. Do I know that there was not even called tech then? Because if you just know Excel, except you are as of 2017, 2018, when we mention tech, it's not data analyst.
It's very
Then
rare to even see people
tech
mentioning it
tech
in
was
Nigeria.
equals to software engineering.
Yeah.
Simple. If you are not a software engineer, you are not in tech. It's as simple as that. Or web developer, exactly. As far as you code, um,
Yeah.
even if you are doing data analysis and you are doing Python, you're still not called like a tech person.
Yeah.
All these tech things that we started doing is after 2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
All this tech, I am in tech, I am in tech, I'm a product manager in tech, I am all those ones is yeah, I, I would not having product managers before 2020. But they were not like it was not the way we say tech every
Yes.
day.
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
see
Yes.
somebody who
Yes.
just do social media and says I'm in tech. You see
Tech.
somebody in Web3 and say I'm in tech. I didn't have a tech
Wow.
dream. There was nothing called tech dream. I would just have the life dream, and the life dream was to just live a life of purpose. It's as simple as that.
Hmm. Hmm.
How I live
Hmm.
it can be in another way. You have
Yeah.
you if you've not seen me become this, you have seen me become another person. You
Hmm.
have seen me become another person. But the major thing, and that is one big problem that we have in life, was that we have we have we have streamlined people's mindsets to the point that we believe that in the tech field, you need to have a dream and you need to
Hmm.
pursue it. We've
Hmm.
streamlined it so that now somebody now feels like if she does not become a product manager or if he does not become a data analyst, he has failed as a person. And some people, then you now have people who have been learning Power BI, Excel, Tableau, learning for the past 4 years, and they've not been able to secure a very good opportunity for themselves, but they don't want to live that dream, that useless dream. They don't want to live it.
Hmm.
There's nothing called tech dream. Why should you have a tech dream? It's just a job. Why do you want to focus all your life on a job or something that you
Tech.
work 8 hours? There are other things that you have to do with your life. There's so many other things you do with your life that it has nothing to. I don't think that when you started becoming a data analyst in Akure, you think that you one day you become a data dude doing
No.
podcast. Exactly. It wasn't a tech dream. It wasn't. I have YouTube channels too. I have TikTok. I have everything, but it wasn't. There's nothing called tech dream for me.
It's life.
It wasn't. It was just around just making sure that I live a life of purpose, making sure that as somebody who many people look up to, I
Hmm.
have to be able to succeed. I will have succeeded in everything, and that is why you see that it was so easy for me to move from a tech background to a non-tech role now, doing product marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can go and become a product marketing manager now for let's say let me say non-tech field now that we have. I don't want to say Nike because Nike is still close to like so Nike is sport. So it's not tech. So it's sport. So now imagine maybe in the next 4 or 5 years, you see that oh, I'm a director for product strategy for Nike.
Hmm.
If somebody now listen to this interview and I say, oh, my tech career or my tech dream is to there is nothing. It does
Yeah.
not align. My life goal is just to make people have fall in love with whatever they want to do or whatever things I am doing and to just have a purposeful life, a purposeful life. So for me, I didn't have a tech dream. No, I didn't wake up to say I want to become a data analyst. I just love Excel. It was just a tweet that I saw, a birthday tweet, not even a career tweet, a birthday tweet.
Edit sweet.
So my life, the way I talk to people, I don't talk to people like you have to do the things I do. You just have to follow the principles. So I don't have a tech dream for
I
me. I just have a life dream, and the life dream was so simple. It was just living a life of purpose.
Purpose.
And how I achieved that can be through tech, can be through every other thing.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my best friend yesterday, I was like, I might likely go and do PhD. The way it's looking, I
Hmm.
might one day just go and do PhD. I might one day
Hmm.
just do this. I'm one day do that. Funny how I am so afraid of heights, but I was like saying that if there is one field that I particularly want to go and explore, is how to become a pilot. So I don't have a tech dream.
You
For
know,
me it's nothing for me.
I genuinely love your unique answer and response to this because, as you said, in our society, people will say they have tech dreams and they are living their tech dreams. Even if you go to social media, TikTok, and everything, they will create content like, okay, living tech dreams. And I want to say a big thank you for for this clarity that you mentioned about living a tech dream, or for that misconception about it. And I'm very sure it's going to help a lot of listeners and tell them what to actually focus on. A lot of people, based on what you said, a lot of people have missed a lot of opportunity that they should have grabbed because someone modeled a tech dreams for them and they want to pursue it. They don't want to look like
Mhm.
a failure that they are not achieving that dream. Rather than taking opportunity, because for example, if you learn how to use Excel or Power BI, you don't necessarily need to be a data analyst. There are several part, different roles, different job titles that doesn't even relate to. You cannot say anything data, but the tool you'll be using will require things that you have learned, and
Yeah.
that's just the basic things of life. If I learn something, I'm learning something because I should be able to use that knowledge and experience in anything in that, at anywhere I find myself in this world. And
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing that. And for our listeners, please, this is eyes opener for everyone. Don't miss an opportunity because you are chasing a tech dream that doesn't even exist. Because what if tech is no more? Does that mean that you don't have a dream anymore? No, it shouldn't be like
Exactly.
that. David, I can't thank you enough for sharing your incredible journey with us and sharing these actionable strategies and some eyes opener that you have shared now. Your story is very inspiring. Even to me personally, trust me, even though we are both Nigerian and I'm still getting inspired by hearing you, sharing some stuff. And before we wrap up, where can our audience connect with you, both online or maybe physical, some people that are in USA, so that they can stay updated on your latest projects or endeavors?
For me, I stay in Seattle, Washington. So if you're around that, say hi. Um, let's grab a cup of coffee. It's something I want to start learning right now. Grabbing a cup of coffee.
Coffee
Let's
chat.
grab a cup of coffee. Coffee chat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn all those things. Like, it's a culture
Yeah, yeah.
change. Yeah, for me. So I'm trying to learn the ways of the Western world. But if your LinkedIn is fine, can connect always on LinkedIn. Sure, I'll try as much as possible to answer those questions. But one of the beautiful things there is that final thing I would just say is life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, but life is just not easy. I'm not trying to excuse people of the things that they are passing through. A lot of people are passing through so many things in this difficult world. So I kind of, for people like that, um, just know that things will work out fine. You just don't need to give up hope yet.
Yeah.
But also is that we can't keep giving ourselves excuses of our failures. Um, we have to find some inner strength. You have to find something that you believe in. You have to find something that you believe in that you can fight for. You have to find somebody that you can fight for. Like, you have to find somebody that says that this is the only reason I'm fighting.
Hmm.
When I was watching a movie, I think something with the Badlands. It was
Okay.
on Netflix, Badlands, Into the Badlands, and one of the fighters was like, the fighter left the whole city or the to stay in a secluded place, and when they looked for him, and it was like, the only reason why I'm here is because I've lost my wife, lost my son,
Hmm.
because I killed a man, and the person, instead of him killing me, he killed my daughter, my wife, and my son.
Hmm.
So there's no reason for me to fight.
Hmm.
So some people, they don't have any reason anymore, and I understand that. But I want you to find something else to fight for. The real truth is this: the podcast that you do, the things I am doing, in the tiny part of it, is that there is something at the back
Yeah.
of your mind that you know that this is the real core reason of why I am doing it, that nobody
Yes.
knows, no matter what both of us says on this place. For me, it might just be that after all said and done, generations upon generations, maybe they'll be able to go back and see a clip of me and you talking in the next 50, 70, 80 years when I'm no more. And my children can say, that is my father.
Hmm.
Or my grandchildren can say, that is my father, my grandfather. There is something to fight for. So for somebody listening to me, find that thing to fight for. Find that thing. That is the only way that when things get hard, you can look at that reason. That reason should be enough for you to wake up early in the morning and fight.
Hmm.
If you don't have that reason, for me, first it was poverty, but it gets to a point in time it wasn't anymore. It became another thing. It became another thing. It
Yeah.
became another thing. But you need to get, because right now you're in UK, I am in the US. It's not naira now that is disturbing us to do
Yeah.
things. It's not money anymore. Okay, today is the last day of work, so your account balance are shaking a little bit. So it's no more money. Other
Hmm.
things is now making you fight every morning. It might be your daughter, it might be your son, it might be your wife, it might be something. It might be your parents, it might be something. So when you have something that can make you wake up every day, it might be a tweet, it might be a post, it might be a video that you watch, it might be a movie, it might be a book that you read,
Hmm.
it might be Jesus, it might be the God that you worship based on your religion. But you need to find something that has too many value for you to say that you can't give up. And when you have that thing, wake up as if today is the last day. Fight as if today is the last fight. Pray as if today is your last prayer. Read as if today is your last book to read.
Hmm.
Apply for those jobs. Then you pick it up from there and you move from there.
Wow.
But what I am so sure of is that the person that keeps knocking, the door will open.
One day.
One day it will open. The person that keeps forging ahead will get to the finish line. That person will get to the finish line. But if you don't start the journey, there is no finish line anywhere.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
things that last year taught me was that the other side of prosperity or the other side of the mountain, the only thing that it costs you to see the other side of the mountain is for you to first climb up to the
Yeah.
top
To get to the
for you
peak.
to
Yeah.
see the other side.
Yeah.
And climbing from the bottom to the top is the worst type of process that you want to pass through.
Yes.
Because the wind at the top is high, everything is high, your body is spinning you, everything is spinning you, but you want to see the other side of
Get
the
there.
mountain. So, whatever thing that you understand, look at it that the other side of the mountain is your career prosperity or your career goal or whatever you want to see. And you feel like the process itself is the climbing of the mountain. So, think about it that way. And just understand that it will be painful. You don't need to say yes or no to it. It just will be painful. People ask about why life has to be painful. Why can't I just? It's not like that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's the rule.
Hmm.
It's the way. Whatever it is, either you don't believe in God, you believe in God. But at least you know that when somebody wants to give birth, it's painful.
Yeah.
What causes that? We don't know. Let's assume, because now a lot of people will listen to this video. Either they accept God or they don't accept God. So I'm trying to make it as
Yeah.
open as possible. You will know. So there's a painful period. When you want to do a gold, there's a painful period for that thing to become gold. Everything has its own pains. Everything will stretch you. If you watch Mission Impossible, you
Yeah.
watch what Tom Cruise is doing. It is not because that he cannot get a stunt person to do it.
To do it. Yeah.
There are stunt actors, actress, wonderful that could do that same thing. But this guy is so good. You think he became that just 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 by
Hmm.
flowing,
No.
by writing good scripts?
No.
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 The other side of the mountain for Tom Cruise for the past 30 years when we are watching Mission Impossible
Possible.
was him getting better at who he is,
Every day.
getting better at who he is. He has so many licenses. Like I was watching his interview, he has the bike license, he has airplane license, he has
Yeah.
so many licenses. So many licenses.
Wow.
It's so easy for them to have used cinematography and every other things, whatever in their language, to create those
To
scenes.
everything. Yeah.
Everything to create those words that they use. But this guy does it real, like
Real. Yeah.
real,
And they will show the behind the
and
scenes
real.
every time.
Just amazing things, amazing character. So for whatever it is, and I can say that luck plays a role too. It gets to a point. I believe in luck. There's some people that don't believe in luck. I believe in luck. But it's just that for the luck to happen, you need to do the process. And that is where the other set of people who don't believe in it says, no, you're removing the there was a time too I always believe I no, it's not about luck. You have to do the process. Yes, I know you have to do the process, but there are some times that in life that when you stretch yourself to get to the mountain and you start seeing those things, you will just see that everything is just easy for you to see. Everything just start falling in place. But instead of you going up and doing that process, you are down looking for luck. No, luck will happen at the top, not at the bottom.
Top. Yeah. Hmm.
So, and at the end of the day, that's just a major thing.
Wow. I can't thank you enough, David. You have shared a lot. Yeah, you have shared a lot. And even I'm very sure people will be saying thank you for things that you have shared with us all. And thank you very much once again. I really appreciate this. And it's an honor to have you on the show. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, share with someone who might benefit from David's stories, from all the strategy that he listed, and drop in the comments what resonated most with you, or what questions would you like us to explore in future episodes. Remember your tech dreams, and based on what David has taught us now, expand from your tech dreams. Now say your life dreams are valid. And stories like David's prove that with you following the right processes, following, your passion, persistence, being consistent, and the right mindset, anything in life is possible. Life can be tough, but we can get it. This is the DeDataDude reminding you that the only limit is your imagination. Until the next time, keep pushing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep living. Thank you very much.